welcome to my channel ML Coaching Center. Today I'm going to explain your Science 15 chapter Environment, and this is the first I am explaining the science chapters. So let's start from 15 chapter first. So environment, as you know, environment has many organisms, and in the developing countries, in the developing and developed country, in the developing and developed country, we should see the environment care also. We should take environmental care also. So after this environment, let's know about ecosystem. So what is ecosystem? They may ask for 1 to 2 1 marks. Or so ecosystem is the combination of biotic and abiotic organisms. Biotic or abiotic organisms, or we can say the combination of living and non-living organisms. Living and non-living organisms. So biotic means living organism and abiotic means non-living organism. Combination of these both living and non-living organism is ecosystem. You know, biotic components means living organisms. Components means living organisms, like living organisms. For example, we humans, animals, birds, and other or living organisms. And abiotic or natural components, we can say natural components like temperature, as you know, temperature do not leave wind, etc. So in that, organisms are grouped on three types, as you learnt in your lower classes, that is producer, consumer, consumers, and decomposition. So as you know, producers means who produce the products, or or food, that for example, the leaves are eaten by deer. It is leaves are eaten by deer, like that only it produces, and that are eaten. And consumer who eats that, consumers, like that I gave an example on deer, that eats the leaves that is produced by that organism. Who consumes that product, that is called as producer, as you learnt in your lower classes. And decomposition, who decomposes that organism. If it is dead, that decomposes it, that is called as decomposition. And for this example, maybe the example, all the plants that produces the food with the help of photosynthesis, And after this, for consumer example or some example or all the animals like deer, and other animals who consumes the product that is produced by the producer. They are called as the consumers. And as you know, there are three types of consumers. That is herbivorous, carnivorous, and omnivorous. No, herbivorous eats the green leaves. Herbivorous it eats the green leaves. And omnivorous not carnivorous. It eats the flesh of the animals, as you learnt in your lower classes. And omnivorous, as you know, it eats both plant and animals flesh. Plants and animals flesh. It eats both. So next topic is food chain. So we saw series of organisms eating each other. And this series of organisms taking part in different biological levels, biotic levels. Different biotics levels is called as food chain. They match this. Food chain you can see in this photo. So see, first A group, let's see this. So see, first plant is eaten by the plant or trees, leaves are eaten by the deer, and after that the deer is eaten by the tiger. Like that only. The second thing is the leaves are eaten by the grasshopper, and grasshopper is eaten by the frog, and the frog is eaten by the snake, and the snake is eaten by the vulture. And like that only the seafood chain tells us the leaves is eaten by the scorpio, and scorpio is eaten by the fish, and fish is eaten by the crane. So this is the food chain, small food chain, that is given in your textbook. I have explained. So next, after the food chain, here you can see the tropical level. So it is tropical level. So what is this tropical level? 1 minute, I will explain for you. So tropical level means, wait, I will put it correctly, then I will explain it. So tropical level. So this is the 4 types of level, in which the first level or the producer, where you can see the producers. So they produce the produce the food, or the autotropics produce the food. Autotropy. One minute. Autotropic produce the food for the consumers. For the consumers, or now we can call it as primary consumers, and the primary consumers, they are primary consumers. Here you can see the primary consumers. They are the primary consumers are the herbivorous animals who eats the food produced by plants, produced by the producers or plants, like that only. Secondary consumers or small herbivorous animals who consumes the plant, the food from producers after the primary consumers. And the same is the tertiary consumers. They are called or large herbivorous animals. They are big herbivorous animals who consumes the food from consumers, or who consumes the food from producers after the primary and secondary consumers, or after the herbivores or small herbivorous plants. As you know, the producers make producers this animal producer plants make the food by consuming the sunlight, by consuming the energy, and converting it into chemical energy. They convert it into chemical energy and they produce the food, as you know. This energy is further continued. This energy is continued to the primary and secondary and tertiary organisms. Secondary and tertiary organisms. This energy continues. Wait, I will tell you how means. See, if 1% of energy is used, by the plants to produce, if 1% of energy is used by plants to produce the food for consumers, so it produce the food for consumers. After this, the 10% of energy is left. The 10% of it was 1% of energy when the plants take, and now it became the 10% of the energy is left in the secondary stomach of primary consumers. When they eat plants, the 10% of energy is left in its stomach, and after that in the primary consumer stomach, the energy goes on decreases. It goes on decreasing to secondary consumers. It goes on decreasing to the secondary consumers because, as you know, the 10% of energy is stored in the first consumer stomach. As you know, secondary consumers eat the flesh of that first primary consumer. So if they eat flesh, means it will not get energy because the 10% of energy is stored in stomach. So the energy goes on decreasing, and the energy more decrease and the energy more decreases. It goes on more decreasing in tertiary tertiary con- consumer. So after that, when because of energy is in stomach, so the secondary and tertiary consumer does not get more energy. So after that, next is food web. What is food web? So the food web is the combination of many food chains. The combination of many food chains is called as food web. So in food web there are many food chains. So here you can see the photo of food chain. So see, this is the food web. Sorry, it is food web. See here, there are many types of food chains are there that are joining and making gas food webs here. First grass are there, and it is that grass is eaten by. You can see that grass is eaten by some scorpio, and that is eaten by fish. And after that, that fish is eaten by swan. Maybe it is no swan. No. Maybe so, and that is eaten by a tiger. And here also see the frog is eaten, the leaves and frog is eaten by the swan. And here also same type all these are. So these are food web. This is the combination of many food chains. So after this, let's come to the next topic. So here also the food there will be decreasing of source of energy. So here also the energy will be decreasing. See, first here also they will be decreasing energy. So here I will stop the chapter. I will continue the chapter in my next video. So till here you understand anything. So if you haven't, please don't comment, like my video, comment on my video, and subscribe my channel in coaching center for more videos. So okay friends, bye. See you, take care. I will see you in my next video. Till then, take care and have a nice day friends. Bye friends.